We are your son, Tom Jr. and Tom Jr.
Hey, Dad.
beat me out of playing golf today. And the other thing is we're having pizza and, geez, I don't know who the hell's gonna eat all this stuff.
There's enough.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's to you.
What we need.
Here's to you, Grandpa.
Hey, get some garlic.
Okay, here's to you.
Here, Tom, garlic.
If we shall disagree, here's to you, here's to me.
Good shot of your armpit, Lon.
Don't wait for the plates. Just grab a piece and eat. When they come, they come. Yeah, that's all. And where's the salt and pepper?
Wait, we should be going like this, shouldn't we? Right?
Why is that? What are you doing?
I'm just asking.
Say hello, Lon.
Sarah.
Hello.
Betty, bring some
Hello,
salt and
back in New
pepper
York
out.
City. We're in the best part of Littleton, Colorado.
45 minute Colorado.
45
Right.
minutes.
Dad.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, I cut it like that. I didn't understand it.
Yo, Dad.
Some people like cereals, other people like the
Lunch. Lon, can you move for a minute, please?
Yo,
That's very nice.
That's 45 minutes from here.
Like a destroyer, which is bigger than the PP. Yeah.
But it was like they could carry about 5,000 to 10,000 cases
No.
of booze. Okay?
On one,
one boat.
and they had 14
One
of them.
They had 14.
So they and then cousin Mario was a judge. Okay. So whenever Pop and Dwyer got into trouble with the law, it was squared away. Okay. A lot of times their boat was picked up by the government, the federal government,
Coast Guard.
and Mr. Mario, the judge, got them to release the boat back to Pop and that sort of thing. Okay. So after that, and then in between, people that Pop's not rivals, but guys that
Competitors.
competitors. Yeah, they hijacked one of his boats with about 10,000 cases of booze. They caught the three guys.
And sent them on a cement
They put them in a
drink.
They handcuffed him in. Pop was not involved in this, okay? They handcuffed him in this speedboat, set the boat in, go out to sea about 20 miles, 18 miles.
With a charge on it.
The boat exploded.
Mysteriously.
No, the boat just blew up.
Just blew up. Boom.
And that was the end of hijacking of boats, you know, the thing. So,
So how old were you at this time?
I was about 16, 17, and I used to go from racetrack to racetrack with my dad. And then we used to go to Montreal, Canada during the summer season. And we had a big, luxurious home in Lake Mahopac. And then Pop had a big suite with... Oh, when Mother died, he started living with Bunny.
Bunny!
Oh no, not
Bunny. Okay, Bunny was the niece of Herman Goring.
Oh my God.
Really?
Goring of Germany?
Yeah.
And this was about the wartime.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
That was, we're
earlier.
talking,
Yeah, much
we're talking
earlier.
1930, 35.
Okay, so the Germans were at
Wow,
it.
I never knew
The
that.
Germans
She
were at
was-
it at that time.
She was a niece of Goring. It looked
But
like
she was
either
American.
Goring's sister was her mother, or Goring's brother's
her
was her
dad.
daughter, or something like that, you know. But she was,
Was she pretty?
yes, she was. She was like our neighbor across here.
What was she? Goose is a goose and half is...
Foul?
She was,
This is on tape now, Dad.
she was hard to get along for Pop, you know. He popped her a couple of times, but anyway, we had a chauffeur, and we had a 16-cylinder Cadillac, we had a 12-cylinder and an 8-cylinder Cadillac, and the colonel drove us around, you know, with the 16-cylinder,
Around New York City?
New York City.
So,
Dad
where'd
doing
you
all-
live in New York
all
then?
this?
Huh?
What was Tom doing?
My brother Tom?
Yeah.
He kept
He,
his nose to the ground and
Tom came to the
Very,
racetracks
very
with us.
good.
He was there. Your dad was with us. And we used to
Very,
carry
very
armfuls of money to the money room when they figured the yards on the horse. Like this. Money like that, and walking through the crowds carrying money like that. Nobody touched us, though. But then that went on for about 5 years.
Julian was going like
Then
this.
prohibition started to, you know, they passed the law, and then things started to cave in. You know, Pop was worth about $6 million at the top of his, you know,
Before 1930 hit?
yeah. He was worth that much. And he bought St. Luke's, when he bought it, he paid only $25,000 for the yard at St. Luke's Place.
So in 1930 something, he was worth $6 million.
Yeah, yeah.
And at that
You
time,
know what kind of money that was
that'd be
then?
about $1 billion.
6 million in the 30s.
And he had, and Pop,
$100 million.
Pop would carry a roll on him, and anybody that needed money, in this pocket he had like $500 bills, and this pocket he had hundreds. And families or friends of his, he just peeled it out. And, no word, don't pay me back. He's that kind of guy. He was about 5 foot, about 30 feet height. He was kind of short. Yeah. But he was muscular built. He was built, a pretty solid guy. And very understanding, and he's, an ideal dad.
Oh, we can ask him.
And he'd come over maybe 2-3 times a week to eat with us, and then of course he had his girlfriend.
And Auntie was
Shirley, you have
watching
to
you
clean
now?
this up
Auntie and
first.
Grandma was taking care of us. But he lived with his fiancée.
Lenny, you can't go anymore, nobody?
So,
Well, I
That's
think
the way
it's
his
gonna be
life
hard
was.
to get out of
and then
that.
he was crossing the street one day up on 42nd, or right, where the cornerstone of that building is in Times Square?
The triangle's out?
Yeah, he was coming out of a joint. Then when things were going, he was playing the horses, betting $1,000, something. And he's walking across the street, crap, the cerebral hemorrhage in his head. He laid in the hospital about 2 weeks ago. So, and then he left the house. He left that mail pack home. I think she got that. We kept the house, and we kept some other things, But, I don't know,
The rest of the you think partners had a hand in the rest of
And
it?
then he and Dwyer broke up, from that. And they were supplying booze to Littleton and a lot of these other, guys. But,
Lance on his way to a meeting, just wanted to give you his phone.
they
Oh, did he leave it?
eventually didn't lose the boats. I guess they sold them all.
Where's he at?
14 boats, that must be some expense.
Portland already?
14
He's up
boats.
here already?
Well, I guess there were surplus boats after the war. You could pick them up for dirt cheap. But
Still, you gotta have someone run them.
yeah, but when you sell 10,000 cases of booze, and you have 14 of them, you bring that in every week, that's 10, that's 100. What's it?
40,400,000.
So then how old was your dad when he died?
47.
Have you already talked about this?
Yeah.
47 years old when he died. Yeah, he died in the hospital. I was up there the last day. He understood me when I was talking, but half his body was paralyzed.
He had a stroke?
Yeah, cerebral hemorrhage. It was a stroke.
He was on the, just crossing the street, wasn't
Just
it?
crossing
So
the street.
what kind of a guy was he? How did he act? Was he wild?
He was a very gentle person, very easy to talk to. He was a family man. He tried hard to. He'd visit us about 3 times a week. He'd have dinner with us in St. Luke's Place. And then the rest of the days, I think he would be with his
And with his woman.
woman. And very gentle type of guy, very easy. You can touch him. People would touch him for 100, 500, 1,000, And he was actually loved by everybody, the people that knew him. And, and when he died, the funeral was,
Lots of people.
lots of people, some politicians, and so,
And you were how old then when he died?
47.
You were.
Me, I was about, I used to travel with him in the racetracks. And boy, they used to have some.
What were you, about 18?
I was about 7. No, wait a while. I was 13 when I started out. And I went from 13 to about,
21 in 3 days.
Well, close to it.
no, I was 13. Well, I remember now, but, well, let me tell you, okay, you're all grown up.
Well,
I
you
was
better
there, I
not
was 13
tell.
years old. And we used to have a hockey player named Jim Burke. They used to play
He come and check
on the North American hockey team.
Okay, hold on.
So he says, hey, Tony, he says, the kid is 13 years old.
Yeah.
Come and help me with this.
Yes, I am. So we want to take care of it.
With Carol.
Sure. Are you going back inside?
Oh, Carol, you're so good.
Sure.
Denise needs you to
real
help
quick.
you.
She got a problem.
What he said, Tony? The kid's 13 years old. He said he should know a little more about women.
Julie.
So the two of them grabbed me and they took me to 28, I remember that street, 28 Main Street in Montreal, Canada. I walked in with the, it was a warehouse.
A flutzy, a bordello?
Yeah, and so I'm standing there and I'm looking at, I still don't know too much about,
What's going on?
who I was or what, So the madam come up and she said, the cop, he said, this is my son. He said, I want you to take care of him. So, I figured I would go in, sit down and have a cup of coffee or pop or something like that.
Sure.
You got a pop, all right.
So she got me by the hand and dragged me to this room and opened the door. There's a girl in there, blonde, I don't know, 17, 16, 18 years old. And she left me with this girl in there.
And he was bewildered.
She says, Monsieur. Now,
Want to play marbles?
no,
In the bottle.
You understand? I'll tell you exactly what she said.
Keep it clean because Dad's going to see this.
No, he's not. He's not seeing this part of the tape.
No?
No,
No, he'll
He said,
freak out.
not at all.
Okay, I was ignorant. She said, French or Spain? I said, what?
Say what?
French or Spain? And, I said, okay. No, I said, okay. I said, okay, and, okay, the next part is embarrassing, but, Betty, I was 13 years old, right?
He's not a virgin anymore, Mom. That's what he's trying
But
to say.
she said that, and I said,
She was disappointed.
okay, and,
Did you tell her you loved her?
by that time she took off her kimono
Kimono and
or dressing gown or whatever she had,
took off her hat, too.
Well, I found out what French and straight was.
Let me know. Okay, that's the end of that story.
Okay.
So,
And of course,
Then-
she took Tom the
then
next
after
day.
that, why,
Did you take
they
Dad
would
up
have,
there? Did you take Dad up there? Take Grandpa.
Oh no, Tom was, straight like that, now so was I. But then after that, these guys you're talking Pop and the people who were in the racetrack, they had the whole suite hotel, Gibson in Cincinnati, Ohio, buddy, and Montreal, Canada. The next deal was in Cincinnati, Ohio, Hotel Gibson. They got the whole suite 240, and they had a party that you wouldn't believe. And then again,
Then again.
Same
Then
French
again.
girl did.
I got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
Yeah.
This time she said, Irish or Italian?
No.
You figure you'd try them all out, huh?
There was a girl in another room, and this girl was drunk, absolutely drunk. Somebody closed the door.
You didn't know how to open it, right?
Yeah.
They locked in.
No.
They locked you in.
This is a very sad story, really.
Isn't it, really?
But the,
So
Long
those
and
were
the
some
short
pretty
is-
wild times, huh?
but,
Oh, no.
Thank
So
you,
that's
Cheryl,
very
for cleaning
Thank
that.
you, sweetheart.
That's how you got to be such a
Gonna
calm,
empty that
ordinary
ashtray
guy.
for me?
So when did you start fighting and what time did you start boxing?
Oh yeah, Golden Gloves.
about
Tommy
was
wants to know about that.
18.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I got
Alice
started.
asked
he's telling
We,
me.
I used
Well,
to
after
run-
he beat up that second girl.
No, but no, how I got started, I used to hang around the,
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Hudson, it was a place where a lot of young people hung out, and that's where I got
Oh,
started in
oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
And I tell you that these were tough people that I hung out with, and you either had to fight or turn your tail and run. And then I had a lot of friends that thought, you know, hey, Julie will protect us, you know. So that's what I learned to box, and I used to get into some, I was boxing in some of these, where you get a watch, you know, club fights, okay? So I did pretty well there.
Right, you mean they give you a watch for...
Incidentally, Alice was there. She was my second one.
Yeah, I
She's my second,
heard about Alice.
that wiped the sweat off you and all that kind of stuff.
She was the Italian girl that Auntie, well, I don't know about Auntie, but Grandma would have liked this. You know.
She jumped in me and married some Italian guy at the end or something. That's how I got started, and then somebody encouraged me that she said, "What is shaking up? Get into the Gold Gloves," which I did.
Shaking up, right?
I got a little better and a little better, you know, and then,
White.
like I said, I went to semifinals, and then I went into next year and I got beat,
I'll fight you.
and I had a chance. The trainer wanted me to continue. He was telling me you can beat half the guys in your welterweight class and stuff like that. But I watched the people who hung around the gym there. They were punch drunk, and they were, you know, all good fighters that used to be good, you know. So I said, nah, I don't want to fight them. Like what?
You were smart enough to realize
Yeah.
that that's...
You're only gonna get your brains beat out.
But, you know, like I say, but after that, the kids, I hung around when you used to get in trouble and they called me. And one of the time
Ask
I
him
got...
some of the names of
I
some of
passed by
the
3
kids
guys,
that he
you know,
fooled around.
I had the whole...
That in
I got beat
itself
up a
is
little bit, but the other
interesting.
guys
You hear the
pretty
names.
well beat too.
All
You know.
3 of them?
Yeah. But I was cut and bleeding. You know,
Julie, tell him some of the names of the guys that you fooled.
Shark eyes. and
Mom, where's the wing?
Shark
Mouse.
eyes?
Yeah, the shark eyes, wear glasses. Mickey
Oh,
Mouse.
under,
We used-
you know where the
They
refrigerator
called me
is?
Snapper. I don't know why they
And
called
the
me Snapper.
cupboard
But that's what
underneath.
my nickname was. Everybody had a nickname.
Yeah.
You know, you're Italian.
Mickey Mouse, wasn't one of them Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse and Shark Eyes and some others I can't
What
remember.
was your nickname?
Snapper.
Now you figure that one out.
Yeah.
Quick punch?
I don't know, but they thought I
No.
was a snapper or something. I don't know.
He used to snap there.
But and Tom, of course, my brother
Really?
Tom was just the opposite. He was, you know, he hung around with a different crowd.
Yes, more educated.
Really. That's the truth. That's the truth. Tom was
I know.
More
he was
intellectual.
a college graduate and Fordham and all that stuff, you know, and Auntie Grandma and Pop. I was the black sheep, really.
Sure you were.
Yeah. And Tom, being the oldest son,
He was the angel.
he got the recognition which he's supposed to get. But in an Italian family, the oldest son has got to be the head of the family.
The good boy.
Really. And I didn't feel nothing bad about that. I really didn't.
Well, you enjoyed your life the way you
did.
wanted to
and
enjoy
Tom
it.
enjoyed his, you know, being...
Right,
And I kind of, you know, let Tom take, sure, do it, fine, you know, no problem.
right.
And so that's the way it was.
So
That's
now, how was it being raised by Auntie and Grandma?
Auntie and Grandma, I have to say, Auntie sacrificed her life for my dad's, you know,
Family.
family, Tom and I and Emily. She could have been married and married some wonderful guys. In fact, our chauffeur, Colonel, we call him, he liked her very much.
Didn't Grandma didn't want her to
Grandma
marry
Yes,
him?
yeah.
You know that, huh?
And then Auntie said, if I don't marry him, I'll never marry anybody.
But Grandma said, your duty is to take care of the 3 children. Which,
No, that's
Grandma was
not
a
fair.
lovely person, but she should have never done that to Auntie, you know.
Right.
Should have let her get married. Oh, you know.
Yeah, because after that, Auntie was never happy.
She would, no, she won't.
When she was in the nursing home, she was in the... Tommy was a baby. We used to visit her every single week. And she was miserable. She didn't like anybody.
I
She
tried
didn't
to-
socialize with anybody. She complained
Dad, you remember?
I
constantly.
tried to get her,
Go see it.
I tried to get Auntie
She would never
to come and
come
live
out
with
here.
us, come out here. I said, come on out with us.
She didn't
No
want to leave
problem,
going.
no problem whatsoever.
Mm.
And
You know, the
she said, oh no, she
neighbors.
said, I got my friends here and I got Mary Balto.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
We
Mary
couldn't
Balto
get
and
her to
Phoebe.
come out here just
Yeah,
to
and then she
visit
says
us.
the church is right here. And I said, Auntie, look,
There's
you're not
churches
going to have
here.
these friends in another 10 years. They're going to pass on.
Mary Balta just passed away last
Did she?
year. Just last year.
Yeah, but look
So
how
I tried to
much
convince her to
money
come
she
out here.
has.
She lived like diagonally across from Auntie, right? Balto?
That was her best friend.
Yeah.
I think so, because we went to the apartment
James Street.
to move Auntie.
James Street.
Mm.
But I want to say, who's grandma in all this thing? I mean, how come Auntie wound up? Who's grandma? Dad's
Mother.
But why didn't she end up?
Auntie and Pop. Well, your grandfather was
You don't remember Grandma? You don't?
Grandma was the mother of your grandfather and your aunt, great aunt. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Okay. Auntie. Damn it, how's that going to work out? Yeah.
Grandma was Auntie's mother.
Sure.
Grandma was Auntie's
Where
mother.
were you?
Yeah,
And
What did you have to
Grandma
drink?
was...
Auntie was your grandfather's sister. It was your great-grandmother.
right.
Was your great-grandmother was grandma.
Tom.
Right.
And his grandfather.
And you want to know the first thing when I met Auntie and Grandma? I went there before I married Julie.
You were an Italian, so you must have been a deep,
Well,
Only
I-
Italian by injection.
Grandma looked at me and she said in her
You know what she said
broken
to me?
English, oh,
Bro.
no.
No, she said, Beyonce. Meaning she's a blonde, you know? And I thought, yeah, Grandma, Beyonce, you know, what the hell is she got?
Northern Italy.
Yeah. A blonde, you know, so she never saw a blonde or something. And, but her husband, Grandma's husband, was red-haired, blue eyes, and he came from the northern part of
And don't you see all the blue eyes we got about her
northern Italy.
kids, huh?
Then he settled in the
Blue eyes
town
there, got blue eyes there.
Yeah,
Green.
No, I
he's
have
got
hazel.
green.
Hazel.
Between Naples
Here's mine, Hazel.
and Rome.
How'd you
Cassino.
manage to do that?
My
My
mother.
grandchildren don't, yeah.
I don't
we
know
had
whether
blue
my mother or
eyes
my
like
father had
everything on
You're
my
German.
father's
And
side.
On your mother's side, father's side.
Well,
Both?
the other
my father was born in Germany. My mother's
Betty's Irish.
grandparents or something.
Irish,
I've
English.
got English,
But my father was
Welsh,
born in Germany.
Irish, Scotch, French, you name it, I've got it.
Yeah. Well, no wonder you're not really strange.
No, I'm a Duke's mix.
You're strange.
I'm not ashamed of being all mixed up. I'm an American. I don't know.
Out of girl.
Let's say you're just a little different.
Different than who?
Personally,
I see some strange people here.
Hey, we're all a little Abbey
we're
Norman.
the minorities.
Well, thank you for that bit of history.
Yeah, but that's,
At the end of the story, he's only 19.
Oh,
Oh.
keep going.
well,
Oh, God.
and, what the hell happened to me?
You
Got out
had
of
some
high
life before 19.
school, got out of-
Gee.
right?
Then I took an engineering course for about, I was gonna, you know, I didn't know I wanted to be mechanical engineering or civil engineering, and I took that course, and I got, you know, about a year in, and I thought, shit, this is dull. And just about that time, they were going for the civilian conservation corps,
CCC. He doesn't know anything about it.
I joined that.
Yeah, that
You
was,
hear about
Roosevelt brought that about in the,
Sure
like
he
the early
did.
30s.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the city kids and sent
During
them
World
to,
War.
Yeah.
He sent him to work.
Sent him
That
to
was
work.
probably one of the greatest things ever
Thomas
happened.
history coming through. All right. Get
I
that
got some
66 in
dishes.
history.
So I did that for a year, and then the war broke out, you know. And I came on home, and I registered. Oh, they sent me a draft notice, and I went down and answered, and the guy said to me, oh, he said, I was 8,500 on my list, you know, in our area. And he said, the war will be over by the time you, before we draft you. I said, oh, great, I'll go.
I think that-
I think I had a part-time job doing something in a paint company. So here about 3, 4, 5 weeks later, I'm in Fort Dix. I'm in the goddamn army.
The war wasn't over, huh?
And the war wasn't over. See, and so I said, I wanted to, then they gave you a choice. I wanted to be a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give it to me because of my high school education. They said, you're
He's a
maybe a
brain.
little too smart for that. So I said, hey, they said, your second pick, you want to be in a tank? I said, what else there is? See? So I was in that for a year, and I didn't like tanks. They didn't want to give me the air parachutes, you know. So your dad was getting married about that time. I think it was a buck sergeant in the tank corps. Yeah, something like that. So they wouldn't give me a pass, and I said, well, shove it. I said, and I took off. Went, and
What
okay,
age
well,
that was?
6 days, I got back. This son bitch wanted to sandbag me with a Garand rifle, had everything. I walk up and down, up and one, and you drop. And they were dropping like flies. I saw, he showed me. These poor asses would... I said, and then this little Lieutenant Connolly come, and he saved my butt, you know. He said, Cassino, he said, you got more brains than that. He says, I'm going to recommend you for the Air Corps. You get in that. Well, I took the test, passed the test, you know, no problem. And so I got in the Air Corps, and they sent me to Wayne, Nebraska for a brush-up, you know, in math and geometry and all that shit. I did that okay, and I was flying, and I was flying at the same time, learning to fly. And I was half-assed fly, I guess, maybe, you know. But they rated you Bombardier 6 and Pilot 6 and Navigator 6. And if you made those ratings the way they rated you, you know, you'd be a fighter pilot. See, that's what I should. So I passed the Bombardier and I passed the Pilot, and they gave me a rating of 5 instead of 6, and they washed me out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I was supposed to go to Santa Ana to fly pre-flight training, you know, better aeroplanes.
What?
And I got there, and then they shipped me out to here in Colorado. You know, what do they call it?
Lowry Air Force.
Lowry Air Force.
You went to Lori.
And so I took Lowry bomber training and all that crap, and
This will be for
you know, this and that. So I went to a USO dance, and I saw this blonde dancing with some guy, you know, nice butt, nice legs, you know, blonde hair down to the waist, and tight-fitting olive dress, you know, tight around the waist. Geez,
Not
that's
bad.
me. That's mine. You know, I gotta take care of that. I tapped the guy and said, beat it.
Did his face, it dropped a smile.
So he went up to her and
So
he
she
said,
turned around, I tapped the guy, and I know, Jesus.
and he said,
It was so evident.
and he said, excuse me,
Just a
French
little
or English?
You got it.
Just a little disappointed. But anyway, to keep the conversation going, I said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, want to go see the show, get something to eat? Yeah, okay. So I didn't know whether I was going to get KP or something like that, and then I did forget about it. And I did get my pass, and I said, Jesus, I taught that broad that, you know.
That Betty.
I said, broad. I said, she's got to be waiting for something to meet me, you know. So I went down there, and there she is waiting with her girlfriend, you know.
Chaperone.
If he didn't show up, we were going to
She's
go to
gonna-
the show.
Yes,
I was on leave.
She was eager to meet, you know, who I was, you know, big flyer and all that.
Boy, was I eager to meet.
And so I guess we went and had something to eat and stuff like that. You know, got a little...
Moofky foofky?
No.
No.
But we dated until I was moved down to, I went to Harlingen, Texas for further training, you know. Pilot, and I was third in charge, you know. In other words, the pilot and the co-pilot got killed, I would
You're next.
fly the airplane, you know. So anyway, I got down there, and then I was there about 6 weeks, and then here we come, we got to go to Iceland. Iceland, stop was Maine somewhere, Bangor, Maine, and then we had to go to Iceland. So the plane, we were the best combat crew out of 55 crews, and they gave us the plane to go visit anywhere we want. So we picked out Chicago. The plane developed engine trouble, and we landed at Des Moines, Iowa. So I thought, geez, Des Moines, Iowa, I said, she's at Cincinnati, Ohio. So I thought, I went to the airfield, and I said, you got a plane going to Cincinnati, you know? And they said, no, we got one going to Columbus. Columbus, Ohio, which is another 150 miles from where I wanted to get to see her, you know? I hopped the plane, and I got off at Columbus, and then I took a train to Cincinnati, and we spent, we got to see each other, you know? And
So,
then
like,
here it
were
is.
you in love with her at this time?
No.
You know, what is that?
I don't
Attractive.
know what love
Attractive.
You wormed out of that
No,
one.
Tommy, somebody said something. But anyway, I got this,
Dad would
and
get
here I am. The plane is in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I had to get there in the morning to get on that plane.
So how could you be upset with Lance taking his bike
Motorcycle.
60,
Yeah, but this was a free airplane ride. You know, they extended me a courtesy. Getting on a plane to go anywhere you want. So I had to get a train from her place to Des Moines, Iowa, and luckily I got on there, and you know what they were doing? They were gassing the plane. 15 minutes. If I was 15 minutes, I would have been left AWOL. I would have been AWOL. They would have get my ass in the hung up again. And lucky I got there, and here I am in uniform and everything, and I jumped on the plane and off and went to Holland, to Maine, then to Iceland, and then to England. And so, and the first thing when we landed in England is one of these stovepipe bombers, you know, the German used to fire. Landed about a few blocks away. Then when I got into England, after the first 2 missions, we got a pass to Birmingham, England, and they sent a V2 over and they flew me a half a block away, and they flew the hotel that I was in. And you never seen so many guys with just their pants down. There's Piccadilly commandos running here and running there, and I'm running out too, you know. And they blew all the windows out of the hotel. And so that's the way we were greeted when we got there. And after that, of course, you know.
What was the first mission like? Was it eventful or uneventful?
The first 5 missions. And when I got there, they told you 25 missions, you know. And I thought, geez, this is snap, 25, you know.
25 minutes.
But I didn't know
Took you a million hours to get there.
prior to when we got there, that they had lost about 1,017s. And these guys only got 7 or 8 missions done. In other words, you never had you had no fighter escort. You just, they couldn't have, they don't have fighter planes that could go far as we do. 8,000 miles, 4 hours of flying into the target, 4 hours of flying back. That's 8 hours. And the first 5 missions, I mean, they, you know, the flak was just terrible, terrible. And then when they got finished there, the flak was attacked. And then you got more trouble. And I could see why these poor bastards never made 25. I was lucky. I was lucky, and we still had no fighter protection. Then finally, towards the end of the war, geez, they send the planes in. And then they took us halfway to the target, and then they had to drop their... Then when they had to engage the German fighter pilots, they had to drop their extra gasoline tanks. See?
Fight them, yeah.
Fight them, and then they had engage them, and then they had to leave, because if they didn't have enough gas to get back, they just landed right in German territory. But the first 5, I said, oh shit. You know, I just resigned myself that, you know, what the hell's gonna happen? You know, bangity, bangity, bang. And they're taking guys out of our niece and I, they're in straight jackets. They were running from their marbles. They just got, you know, too much.
Freaked out.
Freaked out.
Did all the guys come back in your plane?
Yeah,
all the guys came back? None of them got killed?
In our plane,
Tell him I bought it for him.
Really?
Tell him I bought it for him.
You ever see those guys?
Yeah, the pilot and one of the
for you behind you.
radio operator, you know, I got into talking on the phone. But the pilot came in twice and we talked and we had a nice dinner and we went out to, you know, Denver here. And he's still flying a plane. He owns a roofing company in Madison, Wisconsin. So,
what's his name?
he was just a young guy, 23 years old, but he had such, he was Jewish. Co-pilot was Irish. The navigator was Polish. We had a German gunner, the kid that got wounded in the leg. And I was Italian. And what the hell was the other one? He was a weirdo. I forget what he was.
The others weren't weird.
We were all of different nationalities, you see. And if this German kid or the plane had to land in Germany, they would have got him, they would have got me, you know, being Italian and German. Fricassee you. Chop them up.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were lucky, and when I hear some guys tell me they did 50-year missions over there, you wouldn't have done it over in Germany, it's where we were. Never.
It's like Tom Callan doing 230 missions over North Vietnam.
How do you do that?
But he wasn't armed. He flew an unarmed F-4C just taking pictures.
Before and after.
Before and after pictures.
But when you got somebody shooting at you, going and coming, you know, and then the English,
Probability
But he
a
was
lot of times,
just
you know,
in for his stint, he was a career guy.
the pilot would forget the password crossing the channel, and the English would fire us. You know, anti-aircraft fire.
I bet he was based.
The piece that hit me in the chest with my flak suit on
from England to,
was a piece with shrapnel.
and he was in jet.
They screw in the fuse. The anti-aircraft shell is about this big, and the piece that explodes is about that big, and it's about that round around, and then it tapers like that, and then they got the fuse in, and a certain amount of time it'll explode. The piece that hit my flak suit was where they screwed it in. You could see the threads, you know, and it was cupped like, and then it was threaded inside.
We like to have her around your house.
Piece about that big.
Yeah, I'm going to take her.
Knock you right down?
You're not
knock me
going
over.
back. You're
Intercom, all my
definitely
oxygen, and all my
adopted here.
stuff. Boy, I had to scramble to get back
You're a
everything
Western
together.
Thank
casino
you.
now.
Oh, this is great.
3 or 4 minutes without oxygen at 33,000 feet, you know. You had it.
What was the name of the plane?
Lucky 17.
Lucky 17?
And then we flew in the Thunderbird, Old Black Magic. And then they
Oh, you had
the-
different planes. You didn't
Yeah,
say
but
that.
a lot of, and then they had the Vicious Virgin.
Vicious Virgin.
Yeah, and they had the Sentimental Journey. A lot of those planes, but, you know,
Would you blast it out?
a lot of the older planes that lasted, you know, you hated to fly them, son of a bitch, because you figured their time was up.
Yeah.
You figured they'd have it. The law of averages were to catch up with it, and you'd have to be afraid of it, you know. And then I went on okay, let me tell you stories that happened. We're getting ready to go on a 48-hour pass to London, okay? So, and the next morning we were supposed to go on our trip, the whole crew. And the sergeant comes up to me about 6 o'clock in the evening. This Cassino, he says, you fly with Lieutenant Taylor's crew. I said, what's the matter with his, you know, Togolier bomber? He says, well, he's in the hospital. So I said, okay, but I said, Sergeant, I'm going on my 48 with 24-hour pass with my crew. He said, you fly with Taylor. So 3 o'clock in the morning, and they wake me up, and getting all dressed, strapping on a gun, getting this kind of thing. And the sergeant comes up to me again, he says, Cassino, go on your trip to London. I said, how come? He said, well, the other guy just got out of the hospital. That guy got out of the hospital. I went on my 24-hour pass, come back, you know, 24 hours the next following day. I said, I knew the guy, Lieutenant. And I told him, I asked the sergeant, I said, where's his crew?
Yeah, well,
They shot him down that day.
so you dodged a bullet?
He was flying the tail end Charlie that when the Germans attack, they attack that position because it offers the least amount of resistance to a German fighter. See, you're like on a V. You ever see the birds fly?
Yeah.
And the guy on the way in, the end there, he's got no protection. If you're in the middle, you got the
The other
fire
guys
protection.
around you.
From all those
Cone.
it's cone fire that you put on that guy. And they shot him down.
They ever rescue them or they got killed? They all got killed?
One guy said they exploded when they must have hit a gas tank or something, or maybe one of the bombs that they were carrying or something. They blew it, you know, to pieces.
To bits.
I lucked in, you know. Like I told Betty, I said, nothing's gonna happen to me. I said, geez, when after the first 5 minutes, like, shit, I'll change that story.
I tell you, no fooling. When I met Julie, his attitude always was positive. And so many of the boys at that time going in had a defeatist attitude. And they showed it, they looked it, they felt it, they acted, and he never was like that. He was always buoyant and always positive that nothing's going to happen. And I believe
I think, you know, really, a lot of it was luck. A lot of plain luck. That's what it was. Plain luck. Yeah.
well, it may be luck, but I still think
We
that
have an
it
engine
helps.
shot out, another engine shot out. We'd be the last one in Germany coming out of, you know, wherever we were. And a lot of times he'd sound the alarm to bail out, you know, and
You'd scramble to save it?
what we were doing was dumping guns, overboard, ammunition. I was trying to drop the whole turret underneath the plane, you know, the ball turret, trying to drop that out of there. And so we got rid of maybe, I don't know how many pounds. We kept one gun, one in the tail, one in the midsection. We dumped all of it, a lot of our ammunition. And it lightened the plane a little bit, so we didn't have to bail out. We didn't have to bail out in German territory, you know.
Dead ducks.
Yeah, then you'd be captured, or maybe, you know, some...
Well, butchered by the Germans.
Yeah, and all we have is a little 45 protecting us. You know? So when you're surrounded with 15, 20, you're not going to try to pull that 45. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but a lot of times then, after you got there, you know, you couldn't tell whether your landing gear was shot out or the tires were punctured. We'd come in and the tires were flattened, you know, and go down the runway, throwing sparks and fire all over the place. And then we scoot off the runway, and here I'm sitting in the front, and I'm this far from the ground. I'm looking down at the ground, and going past me and stuff like that. And then one day we landed and we stayed in the runway, and the sun
everything out, but it's not
really. Pull us right off the runway.
Yeah.
You know, to get us out the planes behind you.
He's gonna set it there.
Coming in stacked up.
Stacked up. And
Fuel.
yeah, nobody had any fuel left. You have to either come straight in, you can't go around anymore, or take it out a few more miles and dump yourselves into the canyon.
Dump the airplane?
Huh?
Dump the airplane?
Dump the airplane and...
Was there a surplus of planes at that time that you could do that, or?
Perfect.
They lost, the American Air Force lost 5,000 B-17s, about 2,500 fireplanes.
Dishes I put in there.
5,000 airplanes.
And there's 9 guys to a plane. So you multiply
45,000 people.
Huh?
45,000.
That's how many
Really?
guys. But then you had less than 2,500 fighter pilots.
Summer.
That got
Said that you're the born homemaker. Cheryl.
So, you know,
I said that Cheryl was a born homemaker.
everybody, we're pretty lucky. Got some lucky people to right where they did.
Well, that's why we're all here today, right?
Oh, and Tom, your brother Tom, I guess he told you what happened to him.
Yeah, he got hit a couple times.
Your brother, Tom, you mean?
The way he explained it to me, he says he and first time they were discussing something, him and some other officers. The shell exploded and killed these others, and Tom, his dad got wounded. And I guess 6 months later, he's back in action, and then I think he got one in the skull.
Yeah, he was,
Hey, maybe that's what's wrong with him.
He was in a farmhouse shaving, and he got mortared. The first couple of rounds hit, and before he could do anything,
You got
it
blasted?
hit him in the head, and he went into shock. And the sergeant came, and he's standing there trying to shave himself, with blood all over him. And he was hitting the head, and they took him out. And he still has shrapnel on his head, but it was so close to the brain that
You better not run near a magnet.
What about his arm? He had an injury in the
Well, he
arm?
has shrapnel on his arm, and when they went to operate, they said, look, we can operate, but you could lose use of your whole arm, or it won't bother you for 40 years.
And now the 40
At
years-
that age, when you're 20-something and have the possibility of losing your arm,
You'd rather have 40 good
Before
years.
that,
Right.
It's in the same one where he has that Parkinson's disease.
Shake a little?
Yeah. And the shrapnel on his head moves around. Some of it comes out. Not
Oh, has he had
recently,
some come out and
but- Yeah, it's just pull right out of your head, splinters.
pulls right out?
Yeah, it comes
Well, you
into
know,
the
like
shoulders,
gets a
comes
little
down.
eruption on your
And
skin.
they pull it out?
Yeah, metal splinter.
Did they use a magnet?
No, tweezers are for tweezers.
and that's what they think, that the shrapnel might have moved in his arm. They said in 40 years, you're going to have problems with it. It will move.
They think it would, huh? Maybe it did. Huh?
But at that age, you're like,
Yeah, if they say...
hey, if I'm going to live 40 more good years, I'll take my chances with
So he
that.
went to the VA.
I could be dead when I'm
And
65.
the VA said it has nothing to do with your wound. Because the VA would have to pay increased
Right.
benefits. Normal.
When he went
basic
to the
economics.
hospital, yeah.
Some bitches ought to be...
Yeah, so he goes to the doctor, and they're telling him it's Parkinson's disease.
Which it probably is,
Which
though.
It probably is. All the symptoms seem to be that. Well,
Problem is, he's on Parkinson's medication, and you become immune to that after a while. It's only going to work for a certain
3
amount of
years.
time.
How long have you been on it?
Going on
Just about 3 years.
Well, he went off it.
See, he's starting to shake a little bit this way. He's going,
His head. Just
you know, he's bobbing a little bit with his head. So. Okay, that's the end of this tape here.
Okay.
Here, now, Julie, you can take this and plug it right into your TV and play it back.
This historical